10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. Getting off to a bit of a late start this morning. Again, so many things to take care of before getting the show on the road, and lots to do. Maybe I just have to get up a little bit earlier every day. Maybe 5:30 would work out a lot better. Anyways, thanks for being with us. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. That is terrestrial radio, and we're also streaming live on internet radio on the internet, obviously on our website, cklu.ca. Click on the Radio Player Canada app and you can stream us, download it. You can take us with you and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. While you're at the website, make sure to check out some of the merch. It helps support the station, and if you already got it or you don't need it, just click on the donate button. We appreciate all the help that we can get to keep the station going, keep the lights on, keep the airwaves open. Now, that's separate from this show. The show also, if you wanted to support us, you just go to sudburynews@gmail.com and you could make an e-transfer, and we really appreciate any help that anyone gives us. It helps to go towards paying the bills. Bills are about $60 for the broadcasting per month, internet 100. I'd say about roughly $100 per month just for the things that we use. That's not the startup cost or anything. That's just the monthly cost. So any little bit helps to go towards that. So thank you very much. And those who have already donated, my heart is full of gratitude for you, and thanking you for supporting us and supporting the station, and just even watching us, and liking and sharing and commenting is supporting as well. So thank you for that. And with that, we're live on Facebook.com/Sudbury News, YouTube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow. And like I said, mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments read for those listening, up on the screen for those watching. The show is also found on demand on those two platforms, along with Twitter.com/Sudbury News and Sudbury.news, which is our news aggregator, a response to the federal government's policies that makes it basically impossible now to have news or share news on the world's most used platform, Facebook and Instagram, so Meta. That's the way we used to consume our news, right? When we used to be, I guess, legal is a term. It's not as legal. Communist countries can do it, but we can't for some strange reason. We'll talk about communism and socialism, our socialist healthcare system, and how good it is. Remember when we were told back in the day, universal healthcare is all the rage, and we are basically the whole world is looking at us and envies our healthcare. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll see where it's at. We'll see if we're the envy of the world in terms of healthcare. Just looking at our own region in North America, Northern Ontario in North America, right? So we'll dive in. We got lots to talk about today. There is always lots to talk about. The news doesn't stop for some reason. It keeps happening, and we'll keep talking about it. And this is your chance to share your views on the news. It's your conversation on your station, CKLU 96.7 FM. Stick with us. We'll be back with your comments, news headlines, and more right after the weather. And Sudbury weather brought to you, as usual, by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, it's -6 degrees. It feels like -12. There is light snow. Today, periods of snow, risk of freezing drizzle, as we had a little bit of yesterday. It wasn't the apocalypse as, I could have thought it could have been, but there was a good chunk of ice on my windshield when I woke up and went out had to scrape my car off yesterday morning. It might be the same this morning. Wind will be moderate. High of -5. Wind chill will be near -13. So again, we're dipping a little bit now after the mild day yesterday. It's getting to be a little cooler, colder. Tonight, partly cloudy, 40% chance of flurries overnight, up to 15-kilometer-an-hour winds, which is nothing. And the low will be -15, -24 overnight. Crazy stuff. So yeah, it will be very, very cold overnight. -24 with the wind chill. And Thursday, so tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with a 40% chance of flurries. So it's almost a half and half chance. The high will be -12, wind chill a -24 in the morning. High of -19 in the afternoon. So freezing cold overnight and freezing cold during the day tomorrow with a chance of flurries. Then Environment Canada is predicting Friday and Saturday to be -8 and sunny, -5 and sunny. Go figure. And then clouds are back, according to Environment Canada. I don't think the clouds will even go away, but according to Environment Canada right now, the clouds will be coming back on Sunday. Chance of flurries, high of -1, 30% chance of flurries. Then we're into the positive mercury figures on Monday and Tuesday. So high of 0 and cloudy on Monday, high of -1 and cloudy on Tuesday. And a look at your satellite. If you are on the radio, there's a lot of clouds. Now, there's a possibility, let's say, right in around the Manitoba border, some clearing-ish stuff looking. So maybe that's what they're talking about on Friday coming here. But I think some clouds could easily develop before it reaches here. As you know, we are good at making clouds these days, and a lot of them are made over our heads, courtesy of the jets that go over and seed the air and make the clouds. And it's called geoengineering. And so, we get very little breaks from the clouds and from the spray, but you never know. Maybe sometimes they even need a break or their drones need a break or whatever it is. So hopefully we can get a little bit of sun Friday and Saturday. We're looking forward to that if it is possible and enjoying weekend because it won't be too cold on those days. It will be tomorrow, though. Tomorrow, overnight tonight, and tomorrow, very cold. So make sure you're prepared for that and prepared for these comments and news headlines that are coming up right after this. We'll be back. Stick around. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. And again, apologies for getting off to a bit of a late start in the mornings. It is what it is. We are supposed to start dead on 7:30 to go 7:30 to 8:30 weekday mornings. For some reason, I'm freezing. Yeah, I can tell. I was just looking over and there's not as many people on as usual. And then I noticed I was freezing. So we'll see how today goes. And we'll have an answer for that very shortly anyways, if it continues. It's just paying an extra $5 a month for triple the internet speeds. So go figure. It's a great investment to get that better of internet. So anyways, we're here. Whoever's here is here. And we'll continue on with the show no matter what. And Nana's first to the YouTube party as usual. Good morning to you, Nana. Blessings all! ! Denise on YouTube as well. Blessings, everyone. And David on YouTube, good morning all. Where is Trudeau gonna party now that Diddy is in jail? True. And for those that are in an earshot of this live stream or radio show, or however you're consuming this morning, you might not have heard that our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was on P. Diddy's list. And if you haven't heard of what happened with P. Diddy, well, just Google it. P. Diddy getting a little giddy at his parties and getting a little freaky, some freakouts after his parties, getting a little bit out of hand. And now, it's kind of Epstein. You heard of Jeffrey Epstein. Well, Diddy is basically pretty much on par with that. just with different crowd of celebrities, including Oprah Winfrey, Justin Trudeau. These are people you think, what? There's no way. Beyonce, you name it. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And so, yeah, Justin Trudeau was on that list. You won't hear that on the CBC. I don't know why, because it's unadulterated, unbiased news, right? So you would think it's huge news that P. Diddy, what's going on with him. And it would be even huger news that your prime minister is on the list. Never heard it once on our state-sponsored broadcaster, CBC, for some reason. That's right. The Communist Broadcasting Corporation. So, Judy, first to Facebook, good morning to you. Monique, good morning, Sudbury, with a smiley emoji. Marianne, good morning, everyone from Barrie, liked and shared. As usual, good morning, Vin, to you. Thanks for being on. And Liette, good morning, everyone from Collingwood. And placing the emojis very strategically in there. Love it. Don't know why we're freezing up, but we are. We're a little behind on my monitor, but it looks like it's fine now. But Mike, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. And Pat, good morning all. Good morning to you as well. Evelyn, good morning. Been busy with snow removal back here. Yes, in the outer reaches of the community. Getting her done. Living, the dream. So good morning to you, Evelyn. Thanks for being on. And Denise, they didn't just party at Didi's. No, they didn't. You say daddies. Diddy, daddy. Yeah, it's very, I don't even want to go there with, how easy, how similar the two sound. But anyways, Daddy Diddy. Brian, good morning, Sudbury Patriots. Is there an app that will shovel the driveway automatically? You never know. There is an app, though, I think it's either here or it's coming, like a kind of an Uber shoveler, if you will. Because think of it. Why isn't there an app for that? If you want to make some extra money, you sign up in your community to this app that you're willing to shovel. So many people in the community, you just sign up and then someone who needs shoveling just goes on the app and says, I need shoveling. And it automatically charges you so much to have your driveway shoveled. Someone presses the button, they volunteer to come over and shovel your driveway. The money's deposited in their account. Boom, bang. I don't know. What could go wrong? The idea is there anyways. Okay, so Belinda, good morning. If you want to know how rich you are, count the things you have that money cannot buy. There you go. Yeah, sometimes the things money cannot buy are the things that are the most precious and the most valuable. Right? What about a great friendship? How valuable is that? How much would you pay to have your best friend that you have, with all the benefits and everything? The one family member that's always there, you name it. Great friends, great family. Just the list goes on and on and on, right? So thanks for that, Belinda. It is so true, especially at this time where we're going out and buying gifts and people are buying us gifts, and that's the tradition. And, it's great to count our blessings. Yeah, we were freezing and hopefully it's done now. It looks like it might be done. So a little bit of freezing in the morning, a little bit of paying a little bit extra for internet, and we will get faster internet, just like Pat's suggesting. And it will solve it in one shot. So hopefully by Monday we'll get that upgraded and we'll be fine. So beyond socialism, this is Pierrette. Beyond socialism, Trudeau embraces the slave trades. See, Mary NG negotiated to enable slavery profits. Trump is not having it! Exclamation point. So Mary Ing, is that the name? Looks like, unless it's an abbreviation, but I believe it's that. And again, there's so many people in politics, so many people in charge of us that I run out of time and energy and brain power to keep up with everybody's names. But anyways, yeah, I got a video given to me by Gates. And Gates, if you're watching or listening, thank you so much for the videos you shared yesterday talking about how Justin Trudeau invests our money abroad in his kind of ideologistical, in his ideology, what he believes in around the world with your money. Millions and millions of dollars investing into ideological programs and initiatives all over the world. And it would make your head spin if you heard all the things that he's investing your money in worldwide, not keeping the money in Canada, giving it to other countries. So all kinds of weird stuff. Belinda, our healthcare is in crisis. And yes, you are so right on that. Yeah, there are internet issues with the show, but hopefully we'll take care of our internet issues on this end. So that way, if other people are having them, then they'll be your issues, but we'll take care of ours on our end. As sick as the world is, this is Denise. Finally, they are forcing the authorities to open the containers. I'll never forget Evergreen. Don't eat possessed or restaurant meat ever. Human is not for me. Now, you share something that's deep, dark, and untouchable in terms of conversation, but yeah, there has been in the past, and it is known, and who knows where it is and where we find it, but humans somehow end up in the food chain, and has been found that that's been true. Now, to what extent and who's doing it and how it's being done, it's a dark hole, and it's a dark rabbit hole that a lot of people's minds have a hard time even thinking about. But hey, I guess anything's game on this show, and it's unfortunate, and it happens. And if I could do anything in my sphere of influence to help that situation, it's totally, like the movie Soylent Green. If you haven't had a chance to look up what that movie's about, it looks like it might be somewhat true in our day and age. Okay. Yes, extra bandwidth obviously is good. We'll look into that. We are going to get it. Okay. Section for comments took forever to come up. Now that has nothing to do with my internet, I don't believe. Maybe it does. And if it does, it'll be fixed on Monday. So that's good. Okay. Booted you right off, Marianne. That's bizarre. So they changed the algorithm. People are having a hard time replying to others. Now, I don't know if you find that on your other live streams that you're on as well, where you're having a hard time. So, been 3 days now. Can't reply to anyone on any podcast. So that answers my question. Crazy stuff with social media. Yes, maybe you can make that app, Brian, the shoveling app, and then you could reap the profits of it. You can give me a little cut for the idea. How about that? Okay, so Liette, Trudeau and others should get the Trump treatment. How are the people not outraged at the latest serious allegations being brought forth involving children? Time for the P. Diddy and Epstein list to be investigated, reported, and accountability for all. Now, yeah, if everyone, let's say we were to have a vote tomorrow of all the people in the world, and said, do you think the Epstein list and P. Diddy list should be made public? What do you think the results of that vote would be? 100%? maybe the Jimmy Kimmels of the world, or the Oprah Winfreys, or the Justin Trudeau's, the people that are actually on the list would be the only ones who wouldn't want the list to be revealed, or the ones who are employed by them, because they'd lose their jobs if these people went to jail. But other than that, everybody would want the list to be revealed. And we have to ask ourselves, why isn't the list being made public? Now, I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that Donald Trump said that he would reveal the lists on January the 20th. Right? As soon as he takes office, that's when he's kind of in control or in charge as commander-in-chief, and the one who's head of and able to give the orders for these organizations to do something like reveal the list. Now, he's probably going to be briefed by somebody who's going to say, not a good idea, because a lot of people in your own sphere or circle, or people that you've nominated or whatever, or want to be around you, are on that list too, and you may not want to reveal the list. That could happen. And it probably is true that some of the people that are even around him could be on that list. But we don't know. We'll have to see. But nonetheless, why isn't that list being made public? We do know that our own prime minister is on that list. Why it's not in the news in this country is very clear to me. It's because he pays them to report the news. And why would you report that if the person paying you is on the list? Same reason why Jimmy Kimmel wouldn't want the list revealed, or anyone who works for Jimmy Kimmel, because they're getting paid by him. That's why they wouldn't want it to be known. Marianne, you may be onto something, Brian. Oh, yeah. So these are business ideas that are shared on Sudbury News Talk. If you want to check in and check the comments, you'll see you might get a good business idea. You might be the next Elon Musk. So invite everyone to check out the comments during the show and afterwards. Pierrette says she was involved unwittingly in China foreign interference. That's Mary Ng you're referring to. And Jerome says good morning, and good morning to you as well. Is this the morning Mike Perron apologizes for the lies and deception of the COVID lie and make reparations to those discriminated against? I don't think so, Jerome, but he is on the show tomorrow. So everybody, Mike Perron will be on the show tomorrow for questions. I think if you really want your questions to be answered or to be brought up, I would email them to me or send them by messenger before the show tomorrow. And please give me enough advance, not just before the show airs, because I'm busy putting all these devices on and troubleshooting all these software glitches and bugs and stuff before getting on. And so if you can send them to me sometime tonight or overnight at least, whatever questions you want for Mike Perron, Ward 5 counselor here in Sudbury, you want a question for him, send them to me. I've already given him some heads up of issues that I'm just thinking we're going to be talking about. And but yeah, I can even forward the questions to him ahead of time. Okay, he's very connected to Biggie, the Biggie Palace, the Picton Farm. Horrible things took place there. That's Belinda. Remember the Picton Farm? Where they were feeding humans to the pigs to get rid of them? Crazy stuff. And I think you're saying Trudeau was connected to that to some degree. You don't say that in your comment, but I think that's who you are referring to. I don't want to say that if it's not true, but if it's not Trudeau. Denise, the truth is coming. Yes, it is. It's at the gates. Well, the truth is here. It's just a matter of who is paying attention or who's interested in it. Greasy palms everywhere. Brian. And Denise, stop buying processed meats and eating fast food. That's going to be a hard one for a lot of people. Like, what do you do when you're on the road and you're hungry and you're just, you stop and get whatever you can to eat? I think it would be impossible not to consume it to some degree, but I think you'd have to do a lot of preparation to to plan your meals to not eat processed meat or fast food. And Larry, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Brian, Mike Perrant, looking forward to tomorrow's show for sure. And I think it's great. And you know, Jerome, I feel with you as well that there's these issues the city has. They're huge. What about geoengineering going on? There's people that just don't recognize that there's jets flying over them every single day, making these lines that go from one end of the sky to the other. And what's in the jet fuel that's over our heads every single day, and then makes a full-on overcast day full of chemicals over our heads. But people, they still don't know that's happening, even though they're driving and walking and working under these skies every single day. So the city, people in power in the city, could actually investigate that and say, we're declaring Sudbury a no-fly zone for these jets, and we don't want to be geoengineered. Thank you very much for your kindness and thinking about us and wanting to spray us to protect us, but we're okay. We don't need it. We'll figure out our own ways. But no, it's people are oblivious to it. And what just took place with the whole, now the commission in the United States was able to prove where everything came from the last 4 years, and it came from a lab in a city, in a country. And now what? So, and what were the results of it? Was it any worse than a flu? And what were we told it was, and what were we told to get because of it? And people were losing their jobs left, right, and center because of it. Where's accountability? Where's the accountability? So how much power does a city councilor have to do? So Mike is good enough to come on the show and take questions. And, that's just big issues that are going on. What about all the city issues that, that affect us with the tax increase, the closing of the fire halls, drugs, homelessness, event center going downtown with all the expropriation of buildings and things. And, there's lots going on. Crime is up. Yeah, so all kinds of stuff. So let's begin with that, with crime being up, and then we'll go into our story on the healthcare, because that seems to be a big story for today about there's a doctor shortage. Surprise, surprise. Oh, they're shutting down emergency rooms in Northern Ontario. It's not a surprise. To me, I could have told you all this was going to happen way back before I was born when they brought in universal health care, how it was going to end. And a lot of people would have told the people that as well, that this isn't going to end well. Now, it took many years for us to see that, but it's not ending well for us. It's not ending up well. I don't know the last time you had to go to emergency and how you felt the service was or whatever. Although there are good things about our healthcare system, I think as a whole, we can all agree there's a lot of brokenness there. There's a lot. And we had the story yesterday about the lady not getting a call that her brother had passed away, or even that he was even in the hospital in the first place. And so little things like that. But those are big thing to the family, but a little thing overall. And good morning, Andrew. Thanks for being on. So with that, let's check in with a couple news stories here from our city, from CTV, brought to us first of all from our good friend Tony Rima from CTV, and we'll be back right after this.
Sudbury police closed an intersection downtown at Elm and Eyre Streets this morning after an assault involving several people. Police spokesperson Caitlin Dunn tells CTV News that the call came in around 8 a.m. She says multiple individuals were in the street fighting and that one person was in possession of a knife, as well as one individual had a firearm. When officers arrived, one of the individuals believed to be involved retreated into a residence on Elm and Eyre. As a result, officers set up containment and did shut down a section of Elm for public safety.
Officers arrived on scene and originally took two individuals into custody. Through the course of the investigation, they took containment of a residential building on Elm at Eyre. Two individuals exited the building and were taken into police custody. And then officers from the emergency response unit, as well as our canine unit, cleared the residential unit, taking a fifth person into custody. As a result of the ongoing investigation, 3 of those individuals have been released unconditionally, and 2 of the individuals have been charged.
And police have now charged 2 men, a 42-year-old and a 26-year-old.
And thanks to Belinda yesterday, who did inform me as it was happening and it was going on. And, and it's beginning to be a kind of a regular occurrence as crime in Sudbury starts to look like what we would only have expected in big cities like Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, you name it. Now it's daily occurrences in Sudbury, stabbings, shootings, and pretty sad, actually, that we have to experience that. But I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon unless we do anything about the drugs situation that we have in our streets. And then this with our healthcare, there's a call to action for the northern doctor shortage. There's a call to action. Well, of course there's a call to action because people don't have doctors. We just don't have doctors. And why is that? We are the envy of the world for our healthcare system, right? That's what we're being told. So wouldn't you need doctors to be the envy of the world for our healthcare system? Let's check in, and CTV again has a story on this, and then we'll be back after to just chat about it a bit.
Thank you for joining us for our latest.
The Ontario Medical Association says the doctor shortage is acute, with more than 350 physician vacancies.
We have a crisis in healthcare and a crisis turning into a catastrophe in many northern communities.
The Ontario Medical Association launched its Stop the Crisis campaign in October. It says Ontario needs a health workforce strategy that ensures everyone has access to a family doctor and specialist care. It says the province needs to attract new doctors to every area while keeping physicians practicing until retirement. More than 200 doctors attended Queen's Park Day at the end of October and hand-delivered 6 recommendations, but the province has yet to enact them.
The current plan is sort of like, let's throw a bit of money and some open spots in medical school and hope it all comes out in the wash. It is not working. Where I work currently, we are exceptionally short of physicians in the ER. When I look at the schedule for the holidays, I have palpitations because I see my name on it.
Some municipalities invest in doctor recruitment, but the OMA says that's not fair and just for everyone.
We're seeing this Hunger Games come up, a Hunger Games where communities are competing for doctors against one another. And it comes down to, who can offer what and how communities do it themselves. And what we really need is a plan that's thoughtful, that's thorough, that builds capacity not just for this week or next month or next year, but for years to come.
These physicians say the crisis is leaving health and hospital care in jeopardy, especially for pregnant women north of Timmins.
Women from Hearst and from other small communities across Northern Ontario are advised to relocate at around 37 weeks to a larger community.
With the holiday season approaching, doctors caution people not to wait to seek treatment or to get prescriptions filled. In an email to CTV News, the Ministry of Health says since 2018, the government has added a record 15,000 physicians to the workforce, including an over 10% increase in family doctors, as it continues to make record investments in the healthcare system. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
And there's your problem right there. See, so the ministry, they contact the ministry, and the ministry right away says, "Oh no, we've been doing well. We've been increasing the amount of doctors there." That's all you're going to get in a socialized healthcare system where the government is in charge of everything. Like, that's what you get in socialism. The government their fingers are just in everything you do, and because they can do a better job somehow when everything's socialized, you throw all your taxes, almost half of your income, to the government, and it just puts it into a big pile. Nothing is allocated, not like in the United States where you drive on a road and you pay a toll and the money goes to the toll road. If you eat at fast food restaurants, that money is taxed on the fast food. This isn't the way it is in the United States, but the principle of it is the same. If you pay for junk food, that then goes into the taxes go into the health problems that people are going to get from eating the junk food. You know what I mean? So everything is allocated depending on what you do. But in socialism, then what happens is you always think of, yeah, but what if that one person, somewhere doesn't fall into that category? And so we change the whole system for the one person that might get left out or will fall through the cracks or whatever. And so everybody suffers for the few kind of thing. But that's the idea. Everyone will eventually be just as poor. Everyone will be just as equal. Not really. Just the two classes. The poor will be just as poor and the rich will be just as rich. And, someone in government will be super powerful. Here you have the Ministry of Health. They're in charge of everything, right? And look how it's going. So no matter what, they're just going to keep telling you over and over, oh, no, this is the solution. Oh, we're going to try this. And it will never work. Nothing they will do will ever work. Your healthcare system will only get worse because the system is broke to begin with. It's a broken system that you're starting with, and then you're hoping it's going to somehow end up good. It won't. I don't hear the similar stories in the United States where their rural areas are represented. It just kind of takes care of itself because it's more of a free market. A doctor's in business for themselves. They see an opportunity. They go. They're the doctor there. Everything just kind of takes care of itself. But here, the government tries to do everything for you. The government tries to control everything. They got the answer for everything. And this is what you end up with. You end up with all these overpaid administrators. You got the CEO, and then you have the manager of the managers, and then you have the manager, and then you have the assistant to the manager's manager, and so you got 50 people in the administration, and you have 3 people doing the work. That's what you end up with in government. You have a lot of people who just want to be there and tell you what to do and make money and not actually do the work. The more layers you make between the person and who's getting the service and the person giving the service, the more layers you have in between, the more chance you have at delays of bureaucracy, of people not getting the care they need, regulations, things slower, things more expensive. You have corruption, something we don't talk a lot about. When you have just money in a big pot and no one knows what it's there for, it's just there for everything. Nothing's allocated for nothing. Sure, people come with their budgets or whatever, but they come to that big pot of money. It's like if I came to somebody for money and the pot was only so big, we'd have to do with what we could with that pot for whatever the needs are. Taxes are collected based on the need for that particular service. And there's only so much of a pot for it, so you can only do what you can with it. Whereas our government, just everything's put into a giant pile of money, and we allocate tons of money to things that don't need it, for one thing. Oh, there's so many examples out there, just so many examples of how our government wastes money. It's just becoming an epidemic, actually. And Mikey, good morning to you. Thanks for being on. Yeah, so much, and so little time. So it's now 8:21, according to Microsoft. There's a couple other stories I wanted to get to here. And the CBC also covered the Northern Ontario doctors say there's rural medicine crisis due to a physician shortage, not a broken medical system problem. It's like having a dam and a community is there. The community are the people and trying to get things done. The dam is what we do. It's how we solve the problem of the water. And there's a leaky dam. And so the town is always flooded. So we're always talking about, okay, we need to order more mops. Oh, we need to have a committee that's over buying all the mops to get rid of the water that's in our community. And then there's someone who says, oh, I've come up with a greater idea, buckets. And we can put the mops into buckets and then put the water back into the water that's on the other side of the dam. And people are coming up with all kinds of solutions for the flooding in the community, but no one does anything about the leaky dam. That's kind of like our society. It's just the system's broke. You're not going to fix it. You can't fix a broken system until you have a new system. It just is what it is. universal social health care was a bad idea from the beginning. It's being proven now. But people who still stick to that, they'll stick to it till their dying day, that it's the greatest idea in the world, and it's the envy of everybody. I don't know where they get this idea. You know, in the United States, they say, well, the United States, you got to pay. Well, you got to pay in Canada too. You pay half your income. You pay half your income for this. And at the end of the day, what are you paying for? There's no doctors. So what are you paying for? You're paying for no doctors in your area? Right? Then the people who don't have doctors should get a break on their taxes. See, that's the way it should work. That's the way a market works. So I'm not getting the services that you promised me. So why am I paying for it? It's like, you imagine if we went to the States and they just billed you. You walked into a hospital, asked some questions, and they're billing you. I didn't need anything. Oh, yeah, but it's fine. We're just billing you anyways. That's what happens in Canada. We complain about the state system when you pay when you need something done. What's wrong with that? You needed it done. That's why you pay for it. I'm paying for everybody who goes to the hospital every week because they have a runny nose. They're in the emergency sitting there wanting some medication that I'm paying for because it's covered. Why am I paying for that? I don't go to the hospital regularly. But that's the way socialism works. It's like the masses all together pay for everyone. It's a great idea in concept. Don't get me wrong. It's a great, great idea. But in the United States, they have a solution for that. It's called insurance. So instead of you getting taxed to no end for everybody's health care, you get taxed, if you will, with your insurance company. You pay a tax to them for your own insurance for whatever you want to be covered for. Wow. What a concept. Who came up with that? You know? So, and we talk about privatized healthcare, socialized healthcare. It's demonized in our communist media, right? Because communism loves the idea of our healthcare, and it works so well, right? Just like communism, it works so good. Just, it will work somewhere, somehow, some way. We haven't seen it really work yet, but it's going to. It's so good of an idea, you know? But no, it doesn't work. It's not working. Give up, you know? I said you know a lot in this little rant. I'm not sure why. I just caught that. But it is what it is. Okay, so that's that for that. And I know there's going to be a lot of haters. Maybe even people watching this that come on all the time believe in our healthcare system somehow. It's a thing that's been indoctrinated into you your whole life. It's almost like people's aversion to guns in Canada. I lived in the United States for 2 years, so I was able to kind of compare things. When I went and gave blood one day, because I was doing my duty, they gave me $100 or so. And I was like, what the heck? You paid me $100 for my blood? In Canada, they give me maybe a juice and a cookie that costs maybe 75 cents at the time. So where is my blood going to in Canada that it's not going to in the States? And why are they paying me $100 in the United States and they're giving me juice and a cookie in Canada? Well, it's socialized healthcare. Socialized healthcare, it's all the government, and they're going to get you to give your blood for free, make it sound as if it's your duty to do that. They're not really going to reward you. It's just your duty to everybody to do that. But your blood actually is worth something on the market. It's a commodity. Your blood is a commodity. It's like Bitcoin. It's like that's worth something. Your blood has value on the market, just like organs have a value. And in Canada, we just don't see that. We don't see that it's monetized, but it is. Every time you swipe your health card, that's like a debit card to taxpayers. You know, the money's got to come from somewhere, and it does. It comes from you. And it's really mismanaged because of the system allows it to be mismanaged. It's ripe for corruption in that way when you just take a bunch of money from people and you have people that aren't accountable to the people that are in charge of divvying it out, there's just so much opportunity for corruption. It's way worse than, oh, the United States healthcare system. Have you ever seen how much you have to pay when you go in? No, you're just seeing it. At least you see it. If you saw it here, you would be just as appalled how much your services cost at the hospital. We should see that. Every time you swipe your health card, they should give you a receipt and just say, balance 0, because you paid for it. But why not? Because people would be in an uproar, and it would be the end of our socialized healthcare system in Canada, because people would see behind the curtain and they'd see that it just doesn't make sense, and that's why it's broken. And then too many people would rise up and say, it's just not right. But the government makes too much money off of it, and it's just, they just don't want to change that. They're not going to want to change it. And it would be a huge change, but it would be great for Canadians. There's no doubt about it. Anyways, that's all the time we got for the show today. Appreciate you being on. Appreciate your comments. Sorry about a little bit of the glitching. We'll have to take care of that by next Monday. By Monday, at least. Because I don't know how long it's going to take to get that taken care of. Could be by Friday even. Here, I'm in our home studio, which doesn't have a problem with glitching. That'll be tomorrow. We'll have Mike Perron on the show. Thanks to him for being on. Look forward to that. And again, you have questions, email them to me at sudburynews@gmail.com. Message me at facebook.com/sudburynews with your questions. I'll get them to him so that way he'll be prepared to answer them tomorrow. How great of a thing is that? That a city councilor is just going to come on a public conversation like this and answer questions. So we're so grateful to him. Natalie Labby has been so kind as to be on the show as well in the same way in the past, and she would come on as well. Mike was on that day, and I extended the invitation to him, and he said, sure, I'll come on. And he's coming on tomorrow. So looking forward to him being on the show. Thanks for sharing that, Brian. The link, much appreciated with all the links and all the contributions that everyone made on the show with your comments and any contributions financially that you've made or will make or would make if you could. That's even appreciated. But just your participation, having this opportunity to get together each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30, chat about the news, share our views on the news, have our conversation on your station, which is CKLU. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU. We'll be back same time, same place on the same platforms, God willing, tomorrow. Make sure to stay aware, like, share, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.